Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Spectrum Talk. It's not going to be a fun episode this time. Not because of anything I've done, but because of the news we're going to talk about isn't exactly, um, well, not exactly, it's not fun at all. So, instead of just reporting on it a little bit, maybe talking about it, like some might who are, I don't know how you call it, distant from it in a way, maybe not fans. I have been a fan of Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter and Funhaus forever. I was a fan of Funhaus since the very first day they started. I was a fan of Rooster Teeth long before Funhaus, and I was a fan of. I became a true fan of Rooster Teeth, so I'd watch their content. I watched Red vs. Blue as a kid, and I probably shouldn't have, but I didn't really know who they were. I wasn't aware that they were from Texas, and I wasn't aware they were in Austin. When Achievement Hunter started up and actually started going in about 2012, that's when I started watching more often. I had been a part of the Achievement Hunter fan base since the beginning. I remember everything. Like, well, that's a weird way to put it. I was there for everything as a fan, as many fans were. It's 2020. That's 8 years. And it was, almost all of high school. It's every day watching a video or two, watching these guys, relating to them. And I remember how hard it was when Ray left because he was by far my favorite member, except for one guy, and that guy being Ryan Haywood. Haywood. It's kind of hard to say his name. And the reason it's so hard is because I've taken this personally. No, nothing was done to me. No, this is not. I mean, the only reason there's a video portion of this is because I've started doing videos of the podcast. It just so happened that this all came in the same time as this all started happening at the same time as all of this came to light. Um, Adam Kovic was probably my favorite member of Funhaus. And for those of y'all that don't know, the reason that this is so hard to talk about is because it came to light that they were using their power, their internet celebrity, to groom and sleep with fans, many of whom may have been minors. And I say may because not a lot's been confirmed, at least on the Adam side. A lot's been confirmed on the Ryan side. At one point in time, I thought the Adam story was much worse, and now it's the Ryan one. For whatever reason, the Ryan one hurts a lot more. And I don't know how to explain that hurt. Something I keep thinking about constantly. I can't watch their videos without feeling sick, even the ones without the minute, because it just hurts so goddamn much. It doesn't mean that I'm going to stop being a fan. It doesn't mean that I'm going to hate the entire group or the company or any of that, because this was not their fault. There are many things that a corporation, that a company does that are their fault. There are many things they can't stop. This, however, from what we know and the way it blindsided everybody, including those that were closest to them, was not anyone else's fault other than the abusers. The Adam one, for some reason, doesn't hurt me as much. I mean, it hurts. It sucks. But I don't know if it's the fact that it was two of them, and we're losing two of these people that have been in my life for a long time. I've been in the lives of many others for a long time. But it's hard to process. The Ryan one hurts more, despite Adam being my favorite member. I don't know, I just liked his sense of humor, now which disturbs me. Ryan, I related to. He's from Georgia. He's kind of country, but also like a technical wizard. He's a huge nerd. He carries himself in a certain manner. He seemed like a good family man. He seemed like a good guy with like a bit of a dark side, kind of a craziness. Because it showed up in the videos. He had a bit of a, like a theater and drama background. He was a model. I'm not a model, or by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe a model of how not to look. But the kind of redneck background they had, all mixed with the nerd and then the theater and all of that. I related to him a lot, and I liked it. I thought it was funny. I got a lot of his jokes, his timing. It was fun. Something in my glass. That's disgusting. Get out of there. I try to take a swig of sweet tea. I went to conventions. I saw these people live. I saw them in person. I worked a charity event with the hopes of being able to meet them more. And we did. I met many of the members and some of the people behind the scenes and stuff. And SideQuest is an awesome charity. And if you can, donate to them because they help out other charities closely related to gaming, entertainment, such as Operation Supply Drop and Able Gamers, which are amazing charities. So I did it for the charity work too, but you know, it's a really cool plus when you get to also meet the people that you admire. I don't idolize anyone. That probably has to do with my Christian background, with idol. You're not supposed to idol worship anything. I don't worship anyone. But when you watch someone in a video or two every day for 8 years, you form some kind of attachment. Now, I knew that they didn't know who I was, and I knew that I would probably never, be their friend or anything like that. Like some people, they get an idea, but there's still that attachment that's hard to not have. Sorry if my words don't make a lot of sense. When you do something for 8 years, you get an attachment to it. But I didn't ever take the go the extra mile or take that crazy, insane leap, thinking that I know these people better than they know themselves or blah blah blah. No, no, no. Just a fan, like everyone else is. It's like playing a video game. If you played an MMO for a decade, and then you found out the people who created it hurt people and did it purposefully, or no, not purposely, but no, they did it purposely, purposefully, but did it because of the people who played the game, because the popularity and everything that was given into it and the money you gave them, that amplified their predator, that allowed them to be a predator. You sort of feel complicit in that. And I know that's not how that works. I was no more complicit in what he did and what they did than anyone else, but it hurts. Because they were someone that was in my life for a very long time. Not just in my life, but in the lives of thousands, if not millions, of fans. Those RTXs are huge. And it just hurts. That's the only way I know how to put it. It makes me sick. That because of that celebrity, that power that we gave them, they were able to use it and abuse people. And I don't know how to process it. That's the same thing I keep coming back to. Now I know it's much harder for the victims, and something that I can't even begin to imagine. And it's harder for the people that knew him and weren't able to stop anything because they didn't know. Watching the videos of the victims come out against Ryan, I haven't seen anyone come out against Adam yet, but we got a shit ton of evidence, 400 plus pictures and videos, and how he manipulated them, and how he seemed to have a type. Not all were underage, but at least two of them, that the videos that I've seen. were 17 at the time that it all happened. All fans, all admired him. He made them all believe they were special, and then when he got what he got, he dropped them. It's despicable behavior. Let's say they were all the same age, it was all consensual and whatever. That's still despicable behavior. Using your celebrity to use people. Add on to the layers that he manipulated them more because of their age, the age gap. Add on the fact that they were minors. Add on the fact that he lied to them. He used his own persona that he had built up over Achievement Hunter, not just his fame, but that good guy, the father, the husband, all that, to manipulate them and giving them sob stories so that they would buy into it. And then once he got what he wanted, he dropped them. He was grooming people. More and more have come out each and every day, and it becomes harder to stomach. I do hope he gets help. I hope Adam gets help, because whether they're punished or not, I don't have a lot of high hopes with the way the system is that they will get any kind of punishment. Punishment, however, doesn't do anything, and it never has. Or you lock someone in prison for a while and they get back out. What has changed? If they're doing something like this habitually, there's an underlying problem. Something there that needs to be corrected. Hurting them usually doesn't correct that. In fact, it could make it worse. But at least if they were in prison, jail, or whatever, they wouldn't be able to hurt anyone else. But they will once they get out. They'll just have to be more secretive about it. But if you help them, if you're able to correct the problem, then you stop the ability of there being any future victims. So I do hope they get help. Not just out of my compassion for them and for all people, no matter what they do. And for those that know that as much as I do not like this current president, I hope he gets help. I hope he finds happiness. I hope he is welcomed into the gates of heaven. Because that's how I work. Did I also kind of hope that maybe things didn't work out so well with the virus? Absolutely, because then if he is gone, he can't hurt anybody else. Same thing here. He can either be taken out of the equation, or the ailments can. And this is outside of forgiveness, whether or not we want to have that debate. I believe in forgiving people. I have forgiven people who have done horrible things to me. And I will be able to forgive them for this, but it will take time. But the pain will not subside for a very long time. The trust will not subside for a very long time. And I can't help but thinking, if I'm having this much of a problem dealing with something that did not directly affect me in terms of what happened, it affected me in being a fan and of admiring someone and putting them on a pedestal, which is say, well, we shouldn't do that. And you're like, well, we can say we shouldn't do that all we want. We're going to keep doing it. I can't imagine what the victims feel like. Because one of the things that I keep hearing in all of these is they don't feel like victims, or didn't feel like victims at the time, until later and they realize something. And then it all clicked of how fucked up the situation was. And how it had kind of ruined their lives. And that those mind games, I know full well how that works. I've lived through that a very long time. And it is a telltale thing that mental abusers use. So I can use that information and build a case in my mind against him that this is not the only bad thing he's done. These are not the only bad things he's done. We know for a fact that there's probably more. As people come out more and more each and every day, whether in videos or text form, talking about their experiences. seems to have started mostly in 2017. That's when his fame rose. When he got more power, he started acting on it. What happened to his wife? I wonder. Or what's happening? These people who do these things, I'm not talking about cheating. If this was just cheating, this would not bug me as much. I won't get into my own personal details, but I have found that act to forgive a hell of a lot easier, and that wouldn't bug me. If it him screwing around with his wife, that's horrible and shitty, and we should not admire that. But if we look at the list of victims in that, if we're framing this in a sense of what is worse, this or just straight up cheating, like he met someone at a bar and slept with them. Okay, that's bad. It's bad. Being fired over it, I don't know. That's whatever the company wants to do. But, not great, but not exactly an evil person. Maybe a bad person, but not an evil one. Not someone with ill intent. Just someone that needs to not be fucking married. Or at the very least needs help. And we don't know what's going on and that. You could also, there's a bunch of different reasons. And I have lived that. I've lived it. For those who know of the anguish that I went through at the beginning of this year, I even think I've talked about it in some of the earlier podcasts when I actually did this with other people. I know firsthand what it feels like when someone screws around on you. It sucks. It's awful. And those mind games are terrible. The way that I grew up, and then also with that same situation, I know about the manipulation and the tactics and the abuses. But I also know that those things can happen because people are broken. People are hurt and they need help. And if you get them that help, things can change drastically. And wouldn't you know it, things did change drastically. Which is why I'm back in my own house. And have been for some time. And living pretty well. And in terms of that, I mean, we could always use more money. We could use a hell of a lot more money. We're not doing well in that regard. We're doing okay. Better than a lot of people are right now. We're incredibly blessed, and I thank God each and every day. But in terms of the marriage, I think we're doing pretty well. That's a little aside from me. People, I add that because I think that type of context is important. And to help part of this to show how my mind thinks, how an autistic mind might think. And that's how mine does it. I separate things and analyze. Which makes this hurt more and more and more in the case of Ryan. With Adam, we have some proof that he may have manipulated fans. It may have been catfished. We're not real sure. I'm thinking it was a minor. He might be someone with a sex problem. That's a lot easier to work out. The fact that he took videos and pictures of his wife against or without her knowledge and then sent them to people, that's actually illegal. Now they're on the internet, and that's horrible. And I hope that she is doing okay. Hope that Ryan's wife is doing okay in this because they're victims in this as well. With the new information that we have now with Ryan and these abuses, how he manipulated people, if they're doing that, if they're manipulating people, the fans, a lot of whom we know of, he seemed to not just be virgins, minors or close to it, and people with mental health issues. So people are susceptible to manipulation, or anyone is susceptible. People who are a hell of a lot easier to mess with, especially those who are younger and naive and ignorant to things. It's not their fault in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Doesn't matter what their intentions or thoughts were. They were young and dumb, and he knew it and took advantage of that fact. He didn't care, he just wanted to fuck them. That shows a pattern. That also shows that he is the type that shows what he is capable of. And I doubt that he was only that way in this instance. That type of thinking, that manipulation, and those abuses. And this, by the way, it is abuse. It's mental abuse. He's just using it for a goal. which I guess all manipulation and mental abuse is. You manipulate someone to get them to do what you want. I guarantee you he was doing that at home. I'd bet money on it. He probably did it to his friends at work, and he did it to all of us. He got us to believe. He got us to believe in this character, this persona that he had. So when this shit hit the fan, many of us doubted it. But he came out ahead of it. And if I'd have heard it without seeing the pictures and the videos, I would have been like, that can't be true. And I wouldn't have made a video defending him or anything like that, but I would have been like, that just seems weird. Like, how could that have happened? Because of the character that he built. Then he came out and admitted it. It's like, I didn't do anything illegal. And I'm like, okay. Well, I guess he did do it. And then the videos came out, and then I saw those girls talk, and I was like, this man is evil. I know people like that. He does have a problem, and he can't get help, and I hope he does, because then that will, not just for his sake. People are like, why you want to help the bad people? They don't deserve to be happy. It's like not about their happiness. It's about helping the future victims. Compassion has a reason for being. I don't know. This shit just hurts. As a fan, one who actually lives pretty damn close to the place, I felt the need to talk about it. Though this is not about me. I'm not one of the main victims in this. But as fans, we are all victims of this. You could have preyed on any one of us. As fans, we are victims in this, that we put a monster on a pedestal, both with Ryan and Adam. And what I think it's important to do in a time like this is to analyze the past. And why? To look for warning signs and red flags. We now have 2 perpetrators. Okay? We know they did bad things. Horrible things. Instead of throwing it away and ignoring it, though that might be beneficial for the people he actually hurt, it's not beneficial for us. Because now what we get to do is look for all those red flags, those warning signs, the things that we may have missed. Something that someone said here or there, something that was said in the video, something that popped up on the internet we may have ignored, this and that, over all the years that he's worked there. Take all that information, because hindsight's 20/20, and apply it to now, so that this does not happen again. So that if we start seeing that behavior in someone else, we can go, something's not right. We need to go check this out. And I'm pretty sure that Achievement Hunter and Funhaus, they're going to do that. But we as fans need to do that too, because remember, it wasn't each other that they were preying on. It wasn't people next to them. It was their fans. And this can happen to any one of us, regardless of age, apparently. We recognize that before we are used and abused by someone with the upper hand, someone that does not mean us well, someone that only wants one thing. And thank God, and I do mean this, thank God it was only what it was. It was only just sex. And all of it seems to have been, for what we know now, consensual. And you put that in quotes because the minors in questions can't necessarily be consensual. That's a state-by-state basis, but legality does not equal morality. It was wrong. Period. End of story. Doesn't matter if whatever state they were in said it was okay. I know the state of Texas is 17. Except for pictures, has to be 18. And what we know is there were pictures sent back and forth, so that's illegal. There's proof for that, boy. You might be getting a sentence. But regardless of that, it was wrong. Legality does not equal morality. It was wrong. we need to take that information and apply it so this does not happen again, so that no one else is a victim here. And we need to take it and go, well, just because they seem sweet and cute and cuddly or whatever, or relate to us or seem like our buddy, does not mean that. That's how manipulators and abusers work. They get you to doubt. They make you think that they could never do something. And then they go and do it. But thank God it was just sex. Because it could have been much worse. One, it seemed to be consensual in that they said yes, or that they were open to it, but were manipulated and coerced, but weren't physically forced. That breeds with it its own trauma. Let's think that it didn't go other way, that they weren't killing people, torturing people, whatever, though they were mentally. Because that manipulation can go so many different routes. It can hurt people in ways that you can't even imagine. What we know now, the information that we have, it only seemed to go one way. Thankfully, and I am thankful for that. Because I have seen that go the other way. Where they want more. And I'm thankful it got stopped now because it starts out simple. They only want one thing. After a while, they want more than one thing. It's when they start wanting more that they start hurting people more. Because these people don't care about other people. They only care about themselves. That's why they're manipulating people. It hurts. It hurts a lot. You watch the video, you see them laugh and make a joke, and I can't laugh at them anymore, and it makes me want to throw up. I can't laugh at the Achievement Hunter videos. I can't watch the compilations. Even a lot of the ones with Ray in them that I watch every now and then. He's a funny bastard. Now, of course, I talk about Ray like he's dead. He's not dead. He's doing great. He still lives in Austin. He has a wonderful Twitch channel. Some great merch. I just can't watch him live all the time. Because I'm busy doing shit. You know, mainly with work. But he's hilarious. Him and Tina are fantastic together. And I wish them all the best. You know, he definitely rose above Achievement Hunter. He wanted to do it on his own, and he did it. And he is just as funny and just as good as he ever was. But I mean, talk about him in the context of Achievement Hunter, it almost sounds like he's dead, and he's not. He's doing fine. I have no doubt that Achievement Hunter will be able to rebound. No doubt at all. I'm not crying. My nose is stopped up, if you're wondering. Because for whatever reason, the weather in Texas, despite my jacket, has decided to lose its ever-living mind. It got real cold for a little bit. Like, kind of unusually cold for this time of year. Like, we're talking, like, low 50s, which is weird. I'm just cold right now in my house for whatever reason. And then it's, like, 100 today. So I don't know what the hell happened. That and the hurricane that hit. It hit over in Louisiana. It made the wind blow, and it just kicked a bunch of crap up. I can hardly breathe. I hope it's just allergies and not something else. Because you never know these days. But I have no doubt that Achievement Hunter will rebound. I shouldn't have to rebound. They shouldn't have to weather something like this. No one should. There shouldn't be victims, period. There shouldn't be anybody. Because no one should have done this shit. It shouldn't have happened. But it did. We can rebound. The fan base can rebound. We can all rally together. And the way we rebound is not by just forgetting about it, but it's by making sure this doesn't happen again. And that if we find out that that's happening, whether it's from someone that is an old-time Achievement Hunter, Rooster Teeth, whatever, not saying that anyone is, we're not making any accusations. But no one expected Ryan. Out of everybody, no one expected Ryan. So it could be literally anybody. So if we hear something, one of our friends, either in person, on Discord, or whatever, something out of conviction, whatever, if we hear something, we need to do something about it. Because what we're finding out now is there were people that may have known something shitty was going on and it never got reported. If it had gotten reported, we could have stopped that shit. Or anyone else got hurt. And not just with the people we watch and enjoy, but in life. Period. Those red flags are usually the same red flags. The manipulation is the same. It's just going to be different. Usually it's not going to be celebrity, but it will always be power-based. It can exist inside your family right now. I know that for a fact. We can use this. We can get better. We can heal. I wish the victims all the best. I hope they're able to get through this. I hope this time has not brought them too much anguish. But they can get through this. We who have not suffered anywhere close to them can definitely get through this. And Achievement Hunter and Funhaus can. And we can come together as a community and be better. And I have no doubt that they will rebound because there are still a bunch of incredibly talented people on there. Funhaus seems a little bit weird because a lot of people have left and just seems shaky and they're just trying to figure out a kind of a new identity. And now that's been forced upon them in the worst way. Not just someone leaving because they wanted to chase something new, have a better opportunity, but because of the worst case scenario outside of him going out and just killing people. I don't know why the Adam one doesn't hurt as much. Maybe it would if it was just Adam, but the fact it's like it happened and then the Ryan stuff, and then the Ryan stuff came out in more detail. Not as many pictures or video, but a hell of a lot more detail. It hurts. It hurts a lot. I always wanted to work there. And now those dreams of, working there, it's a lot easier to work someplace that does the thing that you want to do, to be the talent, than it is to start on your own. I know that for a fact. I've been doing this forever, and nobody watches this. But now I don't know if I want to work there because I'll have those memories. If I ever got the opportunity, if God decided to bless me that way, I don't know if I would. At least not without hesitation. Because it would hurt. It's so weird, this feeling. This feeling of hurt. Because it's not like they were my friends or my family. But I spent almost a decade with them, so it hurts. It's not like when a movie star does something awful, right? Because they only make so many movies a year. They could have been in your life forever, but you only watch like 1 or 2 movies a year. But when it's someone that you have seen, heard, listened to every day for 8 years, that shit hurts. Across multiple, not just videos, but also podcasts as well. It hurts. But we can rebound. They can rebound. But the way that it's put everything in perspective, it's changed the way that I've thought about a lot of it. And I'm probably repeating myself a lot. If it's hurting me like this, someone that is on the outside, I can't imagine how the people who were personally affected, physically affected, the victims, how they're feeling, because this is a nightmare. Because it wasn't just random people, which doesn't make it better, by the way. But it was people who admired him in the same way that I did, who watched the videos probably the same amount of time that I did, who were fans. And he took advantage of that to hurt us. And that hurts. And I know the company wasn't responsible in any way, and that the other people in Achievement Hunter and Funhaus weren't responsible. But that hurts. And it's hard to reconcile with. You wonder, you have second thoughts about supporting them, supporting anyone ever again. Like, what do you do? How do you make it stop? How can I watch a Minecraft video or something like that and it not feel horrible? This shit has really depressed me because I hate seeing people be hurt, taken advantage of, and there's no shortage of that these days. But when it comes from the most unlikely sources, it makes it hurt that much more. It comes from people that you thought you could trust for whatever stupid reason. It hurts that much more. I don't know. I just don't know. I probably could have made this thing a lot earlier, you know. I always need a podcast for the week, even though I miss a bunch of them. Just because work sucks, man. It's just, it takes up a lot of time and it takes up so much energy. But I've been kind of dreading doing this because even though I need to get the thoughts out there so they will stop rolling and rambling in my head, because I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since it's happened, since it got revealed. Getting it out there will be able to stop that, but even then, I don't know how to talk about it. Even though I just have for 37 minutes, I don't know how to. This is a problem I have often, but now is even worse because we're adding the emotion to it. You know, everything up here is crystal clear and 100% and succinct and is great. It's getting it from here to here where it's different. And it's even worse if it's from here to here in my hand where I have to write stuff down. I have to write in a very particular way for it to make any damn sense. It's just funny, you know, being a writer. I don't know. I don't know. That's just fucking 2020, man. Though this was happening long before 2020. I'm glad that it came out. We should always be glad when shit like this comes out. We should be sad and angry that the information existed in the first place. But this did not happen because of 2020 or some curse or some bullshit. This happened because evil people did evil things. Bad people did shitty things. That's why it happened. And they started doing it years ago. Years ago. They preyed upon people. Because that's what they do. They're predators. They hurt people. People who just wanted nothing in the world. They wanted more than to be like friends with them. You think about that? You're a fan of somebody, of a celebrity, of whoever, and they like, hey, what's up? And they start talking to you. They start showing you that attention, and then they start talking to you like outside of shit. They start acting like your friend and whatever. How exciting that must be. And then they use that to manipulate you so that they can fuck you. And that's all they want. So none of that interaction was real. They were never your friend. They never cared about you. All they cared about was getting their dick wet. That is fucking evil. And he did it to minors. Let's not ever forget that little factoid. This fucking sucks. But It's good that it came out. It's good that they were dealt with. It's good that they're gone, getting whatever help, punishment, whatever they're getting. They're gone. Hopefully they cannot hurt anyone anymore. Now we start a new era. We trudge on, power through. We keep moving forward. As a community, as fans, we better ourselves, we better each other. Through that, we can better the people we admire. And they will better us. Fiona, who does not get enough credit, not only is she incredibly talented and funny, she actually seems to be the real deal. She cares about this community. A community that, for a lot of it, has hated her because she is a woman and because she is black. The horrible things you will see in the comments about her are just that. Horrible, racist, just awful shit. But she's powered through it. She's trying to change the company that she works for. And she's trying to help the fans. When this all started hitting, when the shit started hitting the fan, she, on her Discord, came out to the fans and said, hey, if this anything, I can't talk about what's happening because at the time it was still up in there. I can't talk about what's happening, but if anyone has preyed upon you, just know you could tell me and I'll fix that shit. She's been very, very upfront. Rooster Teeth has a history of being kind of shitty towards its female colleagues, especially those who are black. You can read about the whole Mika Burton situation, and that was incredibly unfair and horrible. No one deserves what happened to her. No one. Because she did nothing wrong, and she had to leave because it got so bad. Fiona, however, seems like she ain't going to leave without a fight. And, good. Good. Nothing changes without a fight. She is there for us, so we should be there for her, and we should be there for all of them. And as a community, as a fan base, we can make sure that this doesn't happen again. But we have to call out each other, because this does not just exist between them and the fans. It exists within the fan base as well as other fans taking advantage of other fans, so on and so forth. We all know a lot of shit happens at cons. We can stop that there. And through that, not just as fans, but as people, we can make this better, because this is something that exists beyond this. Preying upon each other is something that's not right. Being sexual predators is not a good thing. Manipulating and abusing people is horrible. And it happens every day, everywhere, and people just look at it and don't react and walk on by. Don't do that. Call it out. Report it. Do what you can. As long as you do something, together we can make sure this shit stops happening. I hope that was, I hope that made sense. I don't know. That shit's so hard to talk about. I know this is very different than the last podcast I did, which is me just ranting about football for like 2 hours. But yeah, life isn't always fun. But I guess I could end this on a good note. The Cowboys won somehow. Cool. I actually fell asleep during the game. I was so mad I fell asleep. And I woke up and they were actually getting beat still, but they ended up pulling it off and winning. Dak Prescott broke his ankle, which is terrible. Andy Dalton's the quarterback now, which is weird. But they won. They should never had to come back against the Giants. Oh my God, their defense is awful. But hey, they won, so I get to be happy about that. The Longhorns didn't. Fucking stupid ass Fire Tom Herman. But it's not all bad here. And I'm still married to an incredibly beautiful and lovely woman who I love dearly. Things aren't all bad. You know. Just starts falling apart. Think of the blessings that we have. Not to downplay the bad. Now, the bad's still there. Not to make us feel or to make others feel that they shouldn't feel bad. No. Feeling bad's good. Recognize that something is awful and feeling awful about it is not a bad thing. Letting it control you is a bad thing. But when you recognize that it's not all bad, and you take a step back and go, well, think of the good stuff that can actually make you feel better, and that is good. So, Cowboys winning makes me feel good. That's a good thing. The fact that I'm still married to the love of my life, that's a very good thing. I have a job and all this, so on and so forth. I got a lot of video games to play. That's always good. Videos to make for the very people who watch this. That's always good, and that's fun. And I truly do love doing this. And please, God, let me be able to actually make a living off of it. Even a small living. I don't have to be a billionaire or millionaire. Unless you want that to happen, then I'll do it. And I'll give almost all that money away. But I truly enjoy doing this, otherwise I wouldn't do it. Otherwise, hey, more people that watch, and if I do make a living off this, I can actually afford to make this look a whole lot better and not look like complete, absolute shit. Actually be able to afford like real editing software. But I can't. I do kind of have a bit of an editor laptop on that Microsoft Surface, but I can't spend all day editing something when I don't have all day to edit. But that's a whole conversation for another time. But not everything's bad. There is good. Think of the good. Focus on that. But don't forget about the bad. We have to acknowledge the bad. We have to remember the bad so that we can stop more of it from happening. And with that, I guess that's the end of this rather depressing-ass podcast. If you enjoyed this, I got a lot of other shit that I'm on. I got other videos other than this. We're playing through Resident Evil. We're probably going to go back to Alan Wake here in a little bit. I don't know about Pathologic. It's getting kind of weird to film because that game is slow burn. But other horror games coming because it's Spooktober, bitches. Yeah. Keep on with the podcast. Probably going to do more reviews. I probably could put something about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I didn't have to beat the game to get a feel of it because it's the same thing. But it is probably a perfect game. I just don't know if I can talk about it in depth. But yeah, we still got a lot of stuff going on the channel. Over on the Autistic Cowboy over at YouTube. Looking into stuff. And if I can ever get, I don't know, actual internet access, I would love to start streaming again. But until then, that's all future stuff. Right now, here in the present. I had, the stupid brain mouth thing. I had a really cool thing I was going to say, and I completely forgot it. So that sucks. Fucking autism. Anyway, that's the end of this. So, hope y'all are having a good day, and I'll see y'all, or you'll hear me in the next one. I don't know, how does this work? I don't see any of y'all. That's weird.